In southwest Kenya, within the enormous Great Rift Valley, there is a unique park reserve called the Masai Mara. This open grassland is famous not only for its lions, but for another reason: the wildebeest. The wildebeest takes part in an annual event called the Great Migration. It is considered one of the greatest wildlife spectacles on Earth. Every year, approximately 1.5 million wildebeests migrate in a clockwise pattern, spanning nearly 3,000 kilometers, searching for rain-ripened grass to graze on. This ability is encoded in their DNA. Wildlife expert Jake Willers witnesses their large numbers.
This event is something not to be missed. But actually, wherever you are in the Mara this time of year, it's impossible to miss it. There are wildebeest everywhere, dotted throughout the land, up every bank as far as you can see.
The wide-open plains of Kenya are not the permanent home for the wildebeests, but just a stopping point on their endlessly dangerous trek around East Africa. One of the most perilous parts of their journey is the crossing of the Mara River. The river is dangerous because of the force of its currents and the predators looking for an easy meal. From January to March, the wildebeests feed off the lush lands of Tanzania. In this time, approximately 400,000 calves are born. With a steady food supply available during these months, the wildebeests remain in the area with their newborns. With the dry season ahead, the grass on the volcanic soil of the Serengeti begins to wither and the watering holes dry up. In April, the rains begin in the north and the herds begin their journey towards Kenya in search of food.
And in July, August and September, it's right here in the Masai Mara where they bring their calves to take advantage of these grasslands.
In December, they begin the trip back to Tanzania. It is the largest scale migration of mammals on Earth. Scientists have found that sodium, calcium, phosphorus, and protein are important for a wildebeest diet, especially for females to produce milk for their young. Some research has shown that the grass of the Masai Mara may not have enough of these nutrients. Although they are forced to the northern plains to graze off this grass, they likely prefer the more nutrient-rich grasses of Tanzania once they are refreshed by the rains later in the year. Their lives are dedicated to travel, but they aren't alone on their journey. Herds of antelope, zebra, and gazelle join in the search for fresh pastures. Wildebeests have an unusual physical build. Their heads are large, elongated, and box-like. Males and females both have curving horns that point slightly backward. Their bodies are unbalanced as the front end is a heavy build. Their hindquarters are slender and their legs are thin. They are gray with darker vertical stripes and have a dark mane and a long tail. Wildebeests can reach 8 feet in length, stand 4.5 feet tall at the shoulders, and weigh up to 600 pounds. They usually live to be about 20 years old. This one is only around 6 to 9 months old. Calves can usually stand and walk just minutes after birth. Within a week, they're able to run fast enough to keep up with the adult herd. Female wildebeests give birth to one calf in the middle of the herd, which is a behavioral adaptation for protection. They do not seek a secluded place. They synchronize their births within weeks of each other. These adaptations suggest that they rely on the size of their herd for defense. When lions and hyenas prey on their calves, they are safer in large numbers. Natural selection allows for increased survival of those who possess adaptations and thus the opportunity to send these genes to the next generation. Many animals used to make journeys across Africa in search of food and water. These migrations have declined due to overhunting, fences, and closed borders between countries. But Tanzania and Kenya have kept their borders open to allow for the great wildebeest migration to continue as it has for centuries. Thousands of wildebeests will die during the Great Migration from predators and accidents, but many will also die from natural causes. Many of the carcasses of dead wildebeests are picked over by vultures and other scavengers. Decomposers such as bacteria and fungi recycle nutrients from living organisms into the next generation of living things, as well as into the soil, water, and air. Since no new matter is created on Earth, even your body is made from elements recycled from other living and non-living parts of the ecosystem. There are several waterways the wildebeests must cross on their trek, but none as treacherous as the Mara River. Its difficult terrain, fast currents, and reptile residence can make it difficult for wildebeests and zebras to cross. The hippopotamus and crocodile are permanent residents. But animals such as the elephants just visit the banks to bathe and drink. The hippos are just over 100 yards down the river from the wildebeest's main crossing area. They mull around the water to keep cool during the day and come onto land at night to graze. Hippos appear to be gentle, but are actually one of the most dangerous and aggressive animals in Africa. However, they are unfazed by the hundreds of thousands of wildebeests and zebra passing through. Despite all the adversity, the wildebeests keep coming. "250,000 wildebeests will die during the journey. For many of them, the Mara River crossing will be the most dangerous. The herds gather, but are very hesitant at the banks of the river. Tension fills the air as they scout potential crossing areas. This zebra doesn't see the slow-moving crocodile. It might not know that the crocodile is in snapping distance. It could make the zebra its next meal in mere seconds. The crocodiles are everywhere. But despite being a ferocious river predator, they're quite particular about their feeding habits. They will not overeat, and if necessary, they can go for a year without food. Many more animals die from drowning, injury, and stampede than from crocodiles.
The first few wildebeest have just started coming down to the water's edge. There's a few zebra in there as well. Literally just meters away, there's a crocodile up on the bank. And it's so blatant as well, with the crocodile being right next door to them. This chap looks like he's already eaten. He's pretty big, and he hasn't moved an inch since they've been there. You can really feel the tension in the air as they get down and they're looking around.
More impatient than the wildebeest, the zebra takes the first step in its attempt to conquer the river. It only takes one to get the herd moving, and the first zebra paves the way. As it reaches the safety of the other bank, the herds of zebra and wildebeests make a frenzied dash for the water. They rely on safety in large numbers.
The wildebeest have started crossing in parallel to the zebra. There's so many of them that need to cross. They've got him beside.
The excitement is everywhere as the scene begins to shift to panic mode. Since the first few have entered the water and crossed successfully, the others rush onward. Crocodiles creep up on them. They must keep moving, as this is where they are most vulnerable. There are animals going in all directions, and there is a sense of relief as they reach the other side. It's a wonder that any of the mothers will actually find their calves again. Wildebeest calves usually stay with their mother for a year. But if they are separated, they've been known to follow the next thing that comes along, friend or foe. In the flurry of panic, some unlucky wildebeests will meet their end. Others will have a little luck on their side. Like this one, who uses a crocodile as a stepping stone.
It looks like this crossing's come to an end now. The numbers have dwindled on the far bank. There's a few left over there which are wandering away. And the herds which have made it across are now wandering off across the Mara. Incredible experience to see it firsthand as these animals come down to cross this body of water. The dangers they face and the sheer relief of them as they run out the other side and start moving away. Just amazing.
After hours of gathering and hesitation, the entire event seems to end in seconds. As the last of the herds make it across to the banks to the other side of the Mara River, the area returns to a peaceful scene. At the end of the year, they will make their way back, completing the migratory cycle, and hopefully with conservation efforts and the preservation of the lands, this incredible wildlife spectacle will go on uninterrupted. New scientific developments astound us every day. But sometimes it's simple animal instincts, such as the wildebeest's great migration, that we look upon as an amazing natural phenomenon that will hopefully continue its tradition for generations to come.